Hello and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be drawing a spear. Specifically, it is going to be based off of a spear from the game Grounded. The Rust Spear, or whatever the hell it's called. I don't actually remember what it's called, nor do I know what it looks like. I did not look up a picture, and I am not going to. So we're really just drawing a spear on what I think it looks like. And yeah, we might add some other stuff. I don't really know. I don't know what I'm doing. Alright, so we're gonna we'll probably give it like a feathery base. That might be what the bee spear has, but I don't remember. We're gonna give it wraps, because I think just a wrap on it, on this part will look cool. And we'll leave we'll fill it all the way up to like right here. This isn't what the wrap is going to look like, I just want it marked out. And we can bring it a little higher. Alright, there will be feathery bits connecting the spearhead on, which the spearhead's going to be somewhat curved. And go like that. Oh no. We're gonna want a part that spikes up on the back just because it kind of looks cool. Go ahead and get rid of the spearhead so far. The Rust Spear was my favorite weapon, my weapon of choice when I was playing Grounded, so that's why I'm drawing it today. But I haven't played the game in quite a while, so I don't actually remember what it fully looks like. So I could draw like actual feathers, but I don't think I'm gonna draw actual feathers because I don't think I can draw them where they're gonna look like really good. Right, now what does a spearhead look like? Well, if we were to go for a normal spearhead, it would be kind of like that. But I want the spearhead to be pointed up and slightly wider. If I go like this. No, I don't like that, but let me think about the blade for a second. We're gonna give it a dip on the tip and then point it up on the back. Now, I'm pretty sure that its blade design on the Rusty Spear is just a curved blade that goes like this. It curves like that, and it goes like that. I think that's all it is, and I think it has the feathers going across it. But I want something that looks a little more cool, because, well, I'm not drawing it exactly. Right, so we'll go ahead and give the tip like this. But that's not good. I don't like that. No, how did we draw that one? That's not. Oh, this doesn't even have anything in it. I don't know why I grabbed it. How did we do this one? We went like that and then gave it a dip like that. And then like that. And then give it more dips on the blade. Maybe point that. And a little bit of detail. Make both sides sharp maybe. Just have a weird jagged blade. No. Something like that, but not that exactly. Alright, I do want that. But no, that's gonna be a no yet again. I'm thinking of something like that, but it's not being able to draw the exact curve that I'm wanting. Alright. It's close to that, but I kind of want it thicker, but I don't know how to thicken this with keeping like the same curve. I don't know. And I do, but no, that curve's wrong. let's go ahead and give it a stick to build off of. Stick. Get this. Think about what the curve does. Like that, go out. And there. That's a pretty weird curve, but let's see if we can build off of this. Now, I was not thinking of adding any blade parts on this part, and yeah, we're gonna keep adding no extra parts on there. But on here, I think I want another blade. Hold on, what if I go like this? How about that? No, that's not bad. It's just not exactly what I'm looking for. Looks a little kind of like fire. Let's try something like that again. No, not that one. Try to make that like that. Go with this. No. This kind of looks like a squid. Little squid guy. I'm liking how this is and this. So I think I'm probably gonna do something just like that. Okay, that's like a mitten. We don't want that. But it's not really like I can even add a blade on the other, like more detail on this part of the blade. Because what am I going to add? Another portion right here? Then I'll just really make it look like fire. But I mean, I could also go like this, just have multiple sections of the blade. Like, hold on, let me draw this part down here. And then get the blade in, call it back, push that out, make that a little more, go like that. There we go, on the blade. Now, I could give it a bunch of spikes like there, but now, I don't want tons of spike-filled ones. Let's go with a no on that. I do kind of like how I did this one up here, where it's just kind of like a spiky blade that goes like this. I do kind of like that, but I don't think it fits the type of spear I'm trying to do, so we're not gonna do it. I do need to, how am I gonna do these little feathers? Let me see how I'm gonna do these. Alright, so kind of just like a mess of things. Okay. I'll probably tidy them up a little bit more, like push them down more. But yeah, that looks good. Alright, we're gonna go for something a little like this, or like this one. And we're gonna try for some feathers like that down here, and we'll go for a wrap that is around this, and then just a regular wooden stick. Alright, we got our idea. We planned it out. Could have thought ahead and, you know, had all this stuff planned out beforehand, but what's the fun in that? What's the fun in already having something planned out? Alright. There we go. I'm also going to need to move positions because I'm putting all of my weight on my shoulder and it's hurting. And I have been for most of this video. Alright. Let's go ahead and start off by getting this part in. That. That's gonna be a no, because we need to get this a little more right. if that makes sense. Whoops. Let me lightly erase that. And let's try this with a smaller pencil. Alright. I'm trying to remember what a spearhead even looks like. Like, how are we going to connect this? Which this is also completely completely not aligned, which I am realizing right now, but we'll fix that by just turning our heads. Drawing a line right here. Connecting the tip to that. What about that? That's not going to work because it's too wide, but... I mean, too tall long at the top, but... This is the middle line. So this is where the spear will connect. This is the base of the spear. That's the center, so we're going to slightly off-center the point of the blade. And that's really strange looking. I want to get it looking like this one. That's what I'm going for, but I can't. Why? I don't know. Maybe I should go for this one, because then the point of the blade is actually in line with, like, the point of if you go like that. And then it's got the little bits on the extra sides, too. But that looks more like an end to me, to a spear, than a front. I don't know. Just don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm probably gonna have to end up just readjusting the stick because I'm not drawing this even. Doesn't matter how I do it. Doesn't matter how I measure it. Doesn't matter whatever. Mainly because I'm actually not really trying to, because I'm lazy. Alright, we're gonna try going for a more like that design. Alright, now let's try to get this with a smaller pencil to look correct. Alright, that's a little thin right there. We can thicken that up, but it needs to be deeper. So, and I think it's too long and the initial blade is too thick. Alright, go like that. Just go like this. And go like that, but no, that's not gonna work either. Oh, this is just me drawing the exact same blade over and over again. I don't think the handle or the wrap is gonna take that long to draw whatsoever. I wish I could just lasso this onto there and then just make it a little better. All right, let's see how long this is. Just copy its exact length. Alright, it's about to notch 2. To notch 2. To notch 2. There we go. So that's about halfway up. And that is a little under the halfway part. That's just a little bit out. And that is decently far out. So we'll try to get this here. And that's the top peak, so we'll go with that. Reach the blade in. Make sure to curve outwards a little bit. Go there. Go in and down. Curve the blade like this. And go long up there, but not that tall. Now, if we erase it a little bit and get ourselves in here, let's go ahead and take lime. Orange is a tad bit too small right now. Alright, we're gonna have to fix that part, but that's fine. We can fix that part. Alright, I think I'm seeing part of the issue here. One part is definitely skill, and the other part is I'm not curving this top part correctly, and I'm drawing this bottom part differently than it's actually drawn. It reaches out like that, and that part's just incorrectly drawn at the moment. Alright. I'm the one that drew that, and yet I can't copy it down, just in a different place. Alright, that's a no-go on that part of the curve. But just go like this. Curve that bitch. And this is gonna be a no-go too. Starting to think I'm just gonna do a blade like this. Just curve the blade, put the handle like this, do another spike coming out of the top. Looks boring, but that's much easier to do. Or what if I were to do a blade like this? Have a spike coming out like that, but that also just looks boring though. It'd be easier to do, yeah, but it's boring. This isn't boring. This one looks good. I like it. It's more interesting. Nope, wrong angle. How the hell do I get that angle? Go. But now it's too high because now the blade is small because I made it incredibly small. Son of a beach. Alright, there we go. There's a shitty blade. Don't know. Watch this, I'm gonna draw it down here and it's gonna end up looking good. Nope, it's already failed. It's too thin. No, that one's bad. What was I thinking when I was drawing it? I just came down from the tip and I was just thinking, curve the blade, make it long, bring it in, and then do this and try to get a curved part right here, except actually lower down, right there. There we go. Let's go ahead and get these parts in. Alright. Perfection. There's like a about as close as I'm probably going to get to the blade that I actually want. There we go. Now, it is too small, but that's fine. We can feather this out. There we go. Perfection. And we'll go ahead and pretend like there's lines right there, you know, so we can, well, we're going to want a little bit of room, but then we're going to get the wrap in, which normally I would do a little bit of a sketch for what the wrap's going to look like first, but we're not going to do that this time. We are, however, going to make sure we're following the straight of the blade. Alright, then we'll go ahead and do the same thing right here, which those are probably, hopefully, even enough. And then we'll go ahead and just bring them down, all the way down to how long they would normally be. And then we'll also add feathering down here, but we're gonna add that after we've added the wrap, which I am realizing I made this line as wide as the wrap, so that means I have to widen this wrap even more, but whatever. Hiccup. Alright. I'm not going to follow exactly how this wrap should technically look according to, you know, how things work when wrapping them. I'm just going to kind of add this randomly. But I'm doing that because it will look better, hopefully. He says, unsure of if it will actually end up looking better. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. If I plan where the wrap is actually going and I follow how the wrap actually works, I think it usually tends to end up looking kind of boring. Like, it just ends up looking like that, just over and over and over again. Same thing, no variation, which is boring. We want variation in the wrap. Get the fuck off the page, Cheddar. Alright. There we go. Looking sweet. Looking pretty diddly dang darn good, if I do say so myself. Alright. I did widen the wrap quite a large amount as the farther I went down. But we're going to go ahead and end the wrap probably about here. Because, well, we need it to end. Then we add more spear. Like, I don't know, that much looks good. Do that and add some little feathering to the end of it. Because, well, why not add feathers to the end of it, right? We're not going to add a blade, so we might as well add feathers. And what's holding down the feathers, you may ask? Well, it's just going to be a little bit more wrapping. Just a little bit of wrap, though. Same with around this. We'll go ahead and pretend like there's a little bit of a wrap here. And it goes up the blade just a tiny bit. Alright. Go ahead and just shade in the stick a little bit. Shade in the actual blade just a tiny bit. And there we go. Here's our little weird spear that I made the blade of the spear way too small. But I like it. I think it turned out pretty good. I am overall happy with how it turned out. But that took way too long. Okie dokie. See you later.